I want to start with like the publishing part first because I'm interested in
Oh,
how
hey.
Goblin was released, if that's okay. Because it came out in 2017. Is that right? Or before then with Earthling?
Yeah, same year as Carol, right?
Yeah, and then in
Yeah.
2021, I think, from Del Rey. And so
hmm
how did you go from limited edition to wide release?
So when after Bird Box, there was like a 3 year gap. It took forever for Black Man Whale to come out. And as you know, I'm writing 2 books a year, and I started with like 14 backlog, And so I was starting to feel like crazy, like, oh my God, it's like now there's like 20 and like da da da. And I called Christopher Golden to ask him, like, what can I do? Like, I feel like I'm like stuck with this, like putting out 1 book a year, but I have all these books. And then he was like, I bet your contract allows for limited editions, da da da. And I'm like, oh. So I went and talked to Kristen, my agent, for those who don't know. And she was like, yeah, you can do limited editions. I was like, oh. And then Christopher Golden was like, you should contact Paul Miller. He's an amazing guy and maybe he'll like the book. I contact or Christopher put us in touch. And I mean, in a way, Chris Golden kind of like changed my life. I mean, Ghoul in the Cave came out that way, Goblin. And so that opened like a door. And in that experience, I became unbelievably good friends with Paul. Allison did the cover art. And Paul said to me, I'd love it if one day you wrote like 1,000-page book that I could put out. And that's, I swear to God, that was the first talk. I mean, I remember where I was when he said that. That was the first talk that led to James and I going to a bar and discussing what are our biggest ideas and led to writing Gloom and Cape.
That's
So
crazy.
Goblin has played a major role in meeting Paul Miller. And then the book comes out in a limited edition. It's my first time, and it's nominated for a Stoker, by the way, as a limited edition.
Wow.
Nominated for a Stoker. So only at the most 1,000 people could have read it at the most. And so that part of it like blew my mind. And then oh, no, it came out the same. So right, it comes out right before Carol. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because at the end, because 2017 is Black Man Wheel. So Black Man Wheel, Carol, and that totally makes sense because Black Man Wheel is like the second novel to come out, and I'm all freaked out. It's been 3 years. I called Chris Golden to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then that leads to doing a limited edition of this the day on this the day of the pig with Cemetery Dance. And what am I? Oh, well, A House of Bomb and Lake wasn't limited edition, but it was also allowed contractually because it was only a novella, and I did that with This Is Horror. So Del Rey asked in 20 or whatever if they could put out in 21, if they could put out wider the limited editions, and so House of Bomb and Lake, Goblin, and what I retitled as Pearl on This the Day of the Pig, and in the fourth book in that deal was another collection of novellas, which was Spin a Black Yarn.
Okay. I, it's interesting though because I feel like Goblin is so, I mean, I think when people talk about you, they talk about Bird Box, they talk about incidents, but they also talk a lot about Goblin. I mean, do you
Like
have any
Goblin, yeah.
theories on like why Goblin has
Oh
really struck
yeah.
so many people?
Uh, you're right though. It comes up way more than I ever would have imagined, but I think it's a fun place to be. Like as
Yeah.
a horror fan, it's like I remember when I first kind of had the idea for it and the mood of the city, and I was like insanely at first calling it Rolling Hills. And which I think is Neil Nash's neighborhood in the book now.
Yeah.
And I was calling the book Rolling Hills. And then one day I was driving up the street not far from my house right here, and I saw like a neighborhood. It was called Rolling Hills. I'm like, oh, I wonder where I got that from. Like I pass this sign every day, Rolling Hills. And I was like, oh, I need another title. What should this city be? I sense this like I don't know, this raininess, this dreariness, but super vivid colorfulness too. And in a weird way, the Northwest, Pacific Northwest is like that, super bright green and dreary at the same time. A Goblin's a different version of that. It's more like purples and even like the purples and blacks, like all the colors of the buildings and everything are vibrant. And I was dating a girl at the time, and I don't remember why, but she said something like, "You're a goblin." And I was like, "Goblin?" That's it. That's it. Oh, Goblin. That's a name for a city. And she's like, what do you what? At the time, I had only written one book. I had only written Wendy. Goblin was my second book I ever wrote. And Wendy is sort of made up of short stories because it's these two guys doing research on a house. So they go to talk to these five different people who tell them their experience at the house. So in a way, Wendy always felt like a stitched together like five episodes or something. And it was the first time I finished a book, right? So that started to tell me, oh, you could finish novels this way if you start to see them as episodic. Goblin was taking that to the next level by making it literally six separate novellas. But the original idea was 10 novellas, and I had it all mapped out. One of them was about the West Fields. It was about a florist in Goblin who buries like the things that something like somehow buries her worries or whatever in the North Fields. She goes out there every so whatever, and so all her concerns and everything are buried in the North Field. Oh, the West Field, sorry, which are by the North Woods. And I love that idea. I just ran out of gas, man. Goblin is the one, two, third longest book I've written, I think. Go in the Cape, Bring Me the Map, and I think Goblin is number three. I ran out of gas. I got five done, and I'm like, okay, we're good. Let me just say one more thing about this. At the time, I'd only written Wendy, like I said. So you don't know how many, am I prolific? Am I not? Am I this? Am I going to only write one book until you write your second one, right? So
Yeah.
Goblin meant a lot to me because it was like, it was a whole, no, it was 6 months after Wendy. So it was only like 6 months later. And this is now the regular for me every 6 months around. And it was like, oh, I wrote Wendy. Should I do another one? And then I started working on Goblin, it was written freehand, the rough draft. And it was like this unbelievable feeling of like, you're doing a second novel that is nothing like the first. And it was this amazing feeling, man. I run out of gas. I think almost like a year later, I write the third book. And this one is not stitched together. It's a shorter novel, but it's all one singular event. This is called The Wolverine Line. At the end of The Wolverine Line, because it was short, I was like, I'm gonna go for one more of those five other Goblin novellas. That one was A Mix-Up at the Zoo. And so this is a huge moment for me career-wise because A Mix-Up at the Zoo has long, dreamish passages that are present tense, fully italicized, without quotation marks. You don't really know who's talking. They are like dreams that Dirk's having, but they're also kind of like hallucinations. And I said to myself, so remember, I've already written three books now and I'm adding this to the second one. And I said to myself, the next book you write should be entirely like this. Present tense, fully italicized. You don't really know who's talking. You don't really get to know the housemates. You don't really know why she's on the river. And it all starts like Bird Box came out of the dream sequences that Dirk has. So, and I didn't know where to put a mix up at the zoo at first because it didn't feel right to end with it or something. I had to like find the placement for it. But it was again another amazing moment for me because it wasn't just okay, now we got 6 out of the 10 done. It was also like then I sat down and wrote Bird Box like immediately after finishing a mix up at the zoo. And they couldn't be more different, but Bird Box has for an entire novel that dreamish present tense and was originally written entirely in italics and without quotation marks. And I mean, just absolute experimental brick of a manuscript. So Goblin is when I opened the box of the special edition ones from SST, I cried a little. I'm
Yeah.
down to write book 44 now. And Goblin was number two. And to
That's
see it
crazy.
like and to see this gorgeous like edition and like you were like, oh, it's so this book is huge. And I'm like, yeah, this is like the third longest one I ever wrote. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, this is Goblin. I don't know if there's been another book that's meant more for me in the same way that an athlete might say about a coach or something. Like they might say
Yeah.
my college coach or my high school coach or my AAU coach or whatever it is. Goblin played that role for me. It was like, you can write another book. You can try all these various stories. Try this style, which led to Bird Box. It was like being coached or something, or going through like this amazing coming of age, coming of writer kind of moment.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because when I was reading Mix Up Against, I noted like I felt like I was reading a precursor almost to Bird Box with the dream sequences. And I think that
Wow.
that's true for a lot of the stories. Like I feel like Goblin feels like a really cohesive way to like introduce people to your writing. I feel like a lot of the stories have subtle nods to like maybe things to come in like other books. Like Camp reminds me a lot of Dandy. There's parts of it that even remind me of like incidents. And so I'm glad that you had brought up Bird Box because I was thinking the same thing with like the italics and the dream sequence as well.
Yeah, and then that spirited whatever experience, I think that makes it a fun place for readers to go. I don't know, I mean, you know me, I think I feel the same way about I feel the same about Daphne as I do about Goblin, as I do about Compatible People, as I do about The Frauds and Phantasma. I love it all. I can if something's not up to snuff, I'll fix it. Like I love, whatever. But Goblin does get like a little. There's something special about it or something, And this is another funny thing is that I was contacted by this like movie producer dude before I ever met Ryan Lewis or my agent or anything. And he was like, he had heard that I write books from a fella in town. And he was like, will you send me something? And I overnighted him Goblin. And he had all these weird notes for it. Now it was just a weird experience. Then years later, when my friend David Simmer asks me if he can send a book of mine to a lawyer, and this is like the big break moment for me. I sent Goblin because foolishly, I was like, oh, if they don't like A Man in Slices, then maybe he'll like Camp. And if he doesn't like Camp, maybe he'll like Happy Birthday Hunter. And if he doesn't, but like I had no idea that like novellas are harder to sell at the time.
Yeah.
Novellas like kind of collection. I had no idea. I was just like, well, this has if I send him Goblin, then there's six chances for him to love it. As if he would could have as if there was a scenario of him completely disliking the first stories and still reading the six.
But I think that is a chance because I think that's the good thing
Yeah.
about, I mean, I think like I know it's like interconnected novellas, and I think sometimes it's obvious, but there's also certain times that it's not obvious, and you're almost like trusting the reader to be like, I'm trusting you to make this connection. And if you do, it's fun. And if you don't, I don't think it takes away anything from the story. But I appreciate that you're not in everyone's face about it in Goblin of like, here's how camp is connected to this story, and here's how
Right.
it's a nice like nod and nudge, but it lets the reader kind of experience themselves.
Awesome. I think the order of the novellas is super important because, okay, you literally get the ride into town with the truck
Yeah.
with baggage. So you arrive in the town in the beginning. Then in the first novella, Charles shows Richard around Goblin. He's like, here's the Milky Way, here's Goblin Games, and so like you're learning in the third and fourth, you get the history of Goblin
Yeah.
from camp, and well, in the third, you get the history of Goblin from camp, and in the fourth, Happy Birthday Hunter, you get the law of Goblin, the rules of Goblin, which also has a ton of history with Trachtenbreut and the owls and everything. So by this point, you've arrived, you've been introduced, you've learned about the town. So to me, it's always been Presto is where the sort of like now you're fully immersed in Goblin by the time you get to Roman Emperor. Like that now you're fully immersed. So and that's interesting because he is the only main character that's an outsider.
Yeah.
I don't say Pete's the main character, but it's really Roman, and we get his whole backstory and everything. But he's not a gobliner. And that's
No.
it's always been interesting to me. It's like, how did he sneak in the book? That guy. Yeah.
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 Um, I like, so we talked about the interconnectedness, but I do like that you have the prologue and the epilogue. I mean, they feel, and I know this is their purpose, almost as like bookends, but it is a nice way to like introduce us to the world and then end like kind of like walking us out of it a bit. Did you always have Goblin structured this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know the order of the novellas, and I didn't think in the way I'm talking right now at the time. I wasn't like, oh, Charles. I saw it more at the time as like A Man in Slices is sort of a smaller idea than the other one, so let's have that one roll out first. Camp is my favorite one, so I didn't want it to wait too long, so that was second. It was I knew that I wanted to end with the hedges. because I felt like in the same way. So you go to Presto, and I didn't know of Mix Up at the Zoo at the time, and then but then when you get to Zoo and the Hedges, now you're at Goblin Landmarks, right?
Yeah.
Now you live there and you're at the landmarks, and Dirk, poor Dirk, my God, goes to all these like very that story is so sad and
It
weird.
is so sad.
It's so because like he's just trying to like go on a date and live his life and shit.
Yeah.
You know? He's like anyway, so um, but by the Hedges, you're fully in both their main the maze of their main tourist attraction, and you're in the unlawful maze of the unlawful North Woods. So I knew I had to end with the Hedges. That had to be last.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I like too that we kind of start with like younger narrators and then we end
Yeah,
too with like Margot, who's also young. I want to talk about Man in Slate.
but
Yeah, go ahead.
real fast.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I was very excited about with Goblin is that like when I was writing it, is that like there's a lot of like older characters.
Yeah.
Neil Nash, even like Dirk and like Wayne Sherman, like they're not 20-year-olds, you know what I mean?
No.
It all felt very like when did I write Goblin? I don't know how old I was. It was book two, it was 2005. I was probably 30 when I wrote it. And I'm writing about like, Nash, how old is he? What's his birthday? 60?
60.
Yeah. So it felt like it was kind of really fun to write about like these older people or something while I was working on it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, especially because you're kind of getting to give them, and you've talked about this before too, like there's not a budget to writing a book. I feel like, especially for Nash, you kind of get to go like all out for him and his
Oh,
party.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know that I want to go to that party, you know? That party's
No,
bad. Yeah.
no, I don't think so. What's going on with the police in Goblin? Like, it feels like it's almost like a state police. Like, I don't, there's a weird vibe to them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely something otherworldly, supernatural. There's definitely something going on there where and they're definitely somehow connected with the North Woods. There's
Yeah,
some whatever whatever makes Goblin what it is, the police are like, I don't think that you or I could go make the police force in Goblin.
no.
I think they already know who's next, who or if anyone ever leaves the force or not, I don't know. It's almost like a ghost police or something, a zombie police. I don't
Yeah,
really. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, are they human? Like, are they? Do you? I mean,
No, I don't think so.
I don't think they are either.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't really know. They're just kind of like it's almost like the unsettlingness and the like the weird laws personified.
Yeah.
Like these things they're gonna enforce the fact that you can't go into those fucking North Woods.
I almost think of them as like rain that you've like put in a human body, and that
Yeah,
rain is like now
yeah,
protecting
totally.
the city. Yeah.
Yeah, that whole sequence in the North Woods where like they're like sort of like melting almost
Yeah.
as they're like following Wayne. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um okay, so I have some wild theories about Goblin that I need you to help me unpack. The
Okay.
first one is Richard, the Richard that ends up in an inspection.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, do I have to say yes or no? Because I like that.
No, you
You're
don't have
right.
to.
I like that this theory exists. Wow. Wow. That would be a hell of a turn. Did you ever see the show Dark?
No, we were talking about
Oh,
it though this
right.
past weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I almost ruined something for you then.
Okay.
But it would be a similar like character arc, I guess. It would be like, wow, you went from this to that, you know? Um, yeah, I'm not gonna say, I don't know. I love that idea. How about that?
Okay, okay. Um, is when so Cam's talking about like there's someone like puts a tongue underneath someone's legs on a toilet. Could that be other mommy?
Oh yeah. It's almost like camp. Because think Other Mommy's not that far away.
No, she's not.
Like Goblin to Chaps and Sam Hatton, and it's all like a Tri-City area.
Yeah,
And Goblin, for those listening, watching, Goblin is in Incidents Around the House.
yeah,
So it completely, huh? And Other Mommy actually makes an appearance in Goblin. And wow, again, that sounds good to me.
I told you some of these were weird.
Oh, it's
Um,
good.
Thanks. I my favorite part of Amanda Slices is when Charles and Richard are at camp and Charles just he goes missing and they think he's drowned. And then he
Oh
goes and tells Richard like, "Oh, it was so fascinating like trying to watch people save your life." I mean,
yeah.
what do you th I mean, do you think that Richard like what is it about them that makes Richard stay in this friendship, do you think? Because it seems so unhealthy and like he seems aware of it, but he just keeps sticking by him.
I think that it's kind of like that thing of like without me, who does this guy have? We met when Charles like the oddness of Charles wasn't as dangerous. I mean, it was, but it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a sort of like almost like Stockholm syndrome, although he's not held captive, but there's almost this like without me, like from the word go, there was something of like I'm his friend. That's me. I am this guy's friend in this world. If I walk out, what's left?
Yeah.
I think there's a little of that. I think maybe this is gonna sound kind of cruel, but maybe we all have a relationship similar to that.
I think so. Yeah.
No, like there's something like that where it's like where someone else might be like, "What are you doing? Like this guy's a jerk, or this girl's insufferable, or whatever it is, right?" But there is this weird side of you that I don't even know if it's just wanting to be their friend because there is like a darker side of like feeling connected to like how messed up they are or something or something like that. I don't know. Like there is some there too. It's
I
not,
think so too.
I don't know if it's so benevolent what Richard's doing. I think there's a little bit of not fascination, but I don't know the right word right
It
now.
does
So
feel like there's like a level of intrigue that he feels towards it, where
yeah,
he's like, I want
yeah,
to know, I don't want to know, but I kind of do want to know. And it feels like he
right.
doesn't want to know for like the purest reasons. It seems like he's like, kind of like, what are you going to do next? Like, I'm curious about it.
And Charles is like almost like the Goblin Police in a way, right? There's almost like this
Yeah.
mystery, this like enigma thing, and like, and it's almost like when Richard goes to see it, it's the same as like someone who would like go to uh, some underbelly night thing, like go to like some weird bar or go try a weird drug or something. There's something about when he meets up with Charles, there's something unsettling, like this isn't good for you, man, but you're still
Yeah.
going back. Yeah,
When
I don't really know.
I like it too, like you feel like maybe Charles is going to say, well, okay, like I did something bad and he feels remorseful, but he's really just more worried about like what Andy is going to think. And I think that that's like another good snapshot into like his mind of like, you can see he has more emotions, but that he's almost like aligned to like caring about the wrong thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Well, also, you know, I don't remember exactly where we open in that one. It's been a minute since I read it, but Charles starts talking about how he met that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're like, there's a sense that Richard's like, hey, I'm gonna, all right, and then he's like, wait, what? And like, there's almost a sense of like, shit, I need to sit and listen to this because I may have to report a crime.
Yeah.
I mean, like there might be something really bad about to be told me right now, and I don't know that I can walk away from this. It's almost like my duty as a human is sit here and fucking listen to this story
Yeah.
that
Well,
I'm about to hear about this love of this insane love affair.
and I feel like too that Man and Slices really opens up the themes of, I mean, to me, Goblin has a lot of themes of like loyalty, death. But loyalty seems to be like a big thing in this book. And I don't know if you agree to that because it's like there's loyalty in a Man of Slices. There's Nash's friends are loyal to him. There's Wayne's loyalty too. I mean, were you thinking about that when you were
Uh,
writing
a
it?
hun- not on purpose, but 100% notice it.
Yeah.
Like, and I like the word you use, loyalty. I use the word every character's obsessed,
Yeah.
but you're 100% right. Richard's loyalty to Charles, Camp's loyalty to Goblin, Nash's friends' loyalty to him is like, we're going. No, what do you mean we're going in? We're going in, boys. What do you
Yeah.
mean? They like, we can't do that. Roman's loyalty to Maggie,
Yeah.
uh, Wayne's loyalty to his wife,
Hmm.
and I don't, and Dirk's just a mess, man. Dirk's just a mess, dude. I feel so bad for that guy because like Oh, I just feel so bad for him. Yes, 100%. There is that. Like, if I wrote another Goblin, which I really want to, that's the one thing that has to be present, I think, is what you're talking about right now. And I don't know what form that would come in. It can be done in a million different forms. It doesn't have to be a repeat of this at all. But that element of everyone being obsessed. I also had another story called Room One at the Woodruff. I had that in the West Fields like planned out. And wow, if I got, oh man, I'll have to do them.
Maybe take out. I think it's interesting because I was thinking of loyalty, but I think you're right that obsessed is probably the right word.
No,
But it's
it's
almost
funny.
like, but
I think loyalty is the
well,
right word.
I feel like it depends on like what point of view you're looking through. Like,
Yeah.
is it a positive or a negative, and like how are you talking about it?
Yeah, but the reason loyalty is so interesting is because, like, why is Richard, and also why is Camp? Camp's like, he's horrified of living there. He's not leaving.
No, he's not.
No way. He's not even going to like East Kent or Sam Haddon. No freaking way.
So Camp's my favorite because I feel like I am Camp. Like I'm terrified of being scared, and it's not even like the scary thing that I'm scared of. It's like I don't want to be caught off guard. I don't want to
Right.
be caught unexpected.
Right.
Um, and then like the idea that he has just done everything he can to take this away, but then he acknowledges like I can't take away my mind. Like that's the one thing that I can't remove.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like Daphne with like the anxiety and like
Oh, for
how do
sure.
I defeat this thing that's like
For
just
sure.
me?
The idea of a guy being scared of being scared to death.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is like my favorite idea ever. I love him. I just saw him. I saw him as this like big guy with like a tank with a Goblin Marauders tank top with a like an intellectual's look in his eye and some floppish hair and glasses and like you would want this guy to be your teacher because like this dude knows Goblin. And at the same time, if you heard like there was a prank going to be pulled on him or something, you would be like real worried. You'd be worried for him. You'd be worried about what that means, where this could lead. You know what I mean? Yeah. Camp. Wow. Did I start with that one? I may have. That might have been the first one I wrote. Did I write him in order? No, I think I did write him in order, actually. I think I did. That would make sense because
Yeah.
in the first one, I'm like, okay, here's all the landmarks. And then in the second one, I'm like, okay, here's the history. But that scene where Camp calls his sister
Yeah.
and she's like, what the fuck, man? Like, are you like freaking out again? And like, no, 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 no. I'm like this and that, da da da. I love did we see something when we were younger? I mean, like he really we caught him. He's having because for anyone that doesn't know, Olive Goblin takes place in one night. Well, in a general sense. I mean, you get a million flashbacks and stuff like that, but essentially it's six novellas in one night. So yeah, Camp. We caught him on a real peak night, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When I like that he's so like he can't seem to process the fact that like people he's known according to him seen ghosts, but then they just like keep on with their lives. Like they've just moved on from it. Like they're not
Right.
still afraid.
Yeah, well, that's something I've like thought of like all the time is that some of these like stories that people tell, and this is sort of in step with like when someone's like, if someone actually believed in hell, they would be like literally like doing all they can to help you avoid it. Like
Yeah.
screaming at you, like you have to, like if they actually believed in it, they would like it would tell every one of their friends and every one of their family members, like think about it, if you really, really, really thought that place was real. Let's say you knew that place was real. Like you knew it. You
Yeah.
would literally it would be all you did to tell everyone you know, like you have to avoid this place. So same thing when someone tells you like a ghost story or something, and oftentimes they're freaky, it's like, yeah, but that would change your entire worldview. Because that implies there's something beyond this life. That implies I mean, that's not just seeing a ghost. That's like, what are we talking about here? That's like a reality shaping experience if you actually saw this and believe it was a ghost. And
Yeah.
Camp can't understand how they like these people will tell these stories and just it'll be like just like something they tell at a party. And he's like, "What the? How the fuck? Like this is like mind shattering." And the story of like your deceased aunt peering out from behind the boiler in the basement. You know what I mean? You're like that's not a party favor, man. That's not a parlor game. Like this is this is reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I feel sad for him too because it's like it feels like almost like he's like, oh, okay, I kind of want to see my mom again, but like I'm not ready. And like if you're gonna come, like, can you give me a sign so that way I'm not terrified?
Yeah. The big sort of breakthrough moment with Camp was his bed. That,
Yeah.
that's when, because think about it again, this is only book two, right? That's when I started to realize, like, oh man, you can write anything now. I mean, you're writing about a guy who sleeps on a plexiglass bed so that nothing can be hiding under the bed. So he can just like look.
I kind of want one though. I was like, that's not a bad idea.
I know. All and like and his apartment's in total like ruins because he doesn't there can't be like a corner for something to hide behind or like a little like jut of a wall that sticks out. It can't have that. So all that's been knocked down and there's nowhere for anything to hide. Oh,
So I know like his neighbor has been in his apartment like when he's not there. Like, do you think, and he seems like he's kind of knows, like, do you think he knows that she's been in?
is that Mrs. Doris?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. This question fits to me in the same realm as the police question
Yeah.
because it's like camps of Goblin. So like you might not even think that he was so weird or worry about him. Because if in our world you'd be you'd be calling like therapists and stuff. But in the Goblin world, it's like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, or it's like a Tim Burton world, or like what are we actually like talking about here? Oh, is it Vala's birthday? Oh my God.
Happy birthday, Valo.
Vala's birthday.
Sorry to disrupt.
No, no, it's okay. Yeah. Vala's a birthday hat on. We get a photo of her like
Oh
that?
my God.
Well, I not right now. No, no, no.
I didn't know if you had it.
Um,
You can we can stop, we can pause.
no, 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 no. Her birthday's been all day. I've been with her all day and didn't know.
But
Um,
she actually wanted me to let you know she's offended that you didn't tell her happy birthday earlier.
so okay. So yeah, I think that there's a like an element like he's of Goblin. And so you don't think of him as you would someone like in your life. You think of like Francis in Pee-wee's Big Adventures, like a living cartoon character. Pee-wee is a living cartoon character. There's some of that to like Goblin as well. Like that, like in this world, can't make sense.
Yeah.
So if Mrs. Doris has been in his house or been in his apartment, and does he know? I think he wouldn't want her in there, but
Yeah.
I also don't think that. I think she would somehow accept it as part of Goblin, and I think he would somehow accept it as at least it's not a ghost.
Yeah. That's true. Um, is there anything else you want to talk about for camp or man and slices before we go to
No,
Happy Birthday
no,
Hunter?
no, let's do it. Yeah.
So, my favorite part about Happy Birthday Hunter is at the end when his wife is just like, I got you this. And he's like, fuck, like, I'm not the second person to do this.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's like a straight up Twilight Zone twist right there. That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, at first it felt like it was just enough, just having him do it, and it was just like, oh my God. And I could see if I directed the movie, which is like a fantasy of mine. I wrote a script for this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, the pilot episode is almost like an overture where you go from like you follow Camp like walking through Parish Park, and then like Pete then Camp's like oh, it's like Pete almost runs him over on his bike, and then you're with Pete is all excited about Roman coming to town, and that leads to this, and so you get like the whole town sort of in like an overture or something. And I think that wait, what was where did this start? What
Oh, we
was
were
the
talking about
question?
his wife. His wife kind of like
Oh,
one-upping him at
so
the
if I
end.
did direct it, I might not have that twist. I don't know. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. Isn't it like too right or something or no?
No, I don't think so. I like it too because, and I don't mean this in a negative, but this Goblin feels very male heavy to me.
Oh, no question. Yeah.
And I feel like that's like one of the few times where like a woman gets to kind of like step into the world and like do something.
Yeah, Goblin's like all dudes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of
Nothing
guys in
short.
this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, that's a big moment, especially considering what happened on the hunt in the North Woods for the owl. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like all like the breaking the law and the danger that he's put his loyal friends in and all this and da 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 for him to return, it's it's his birthday party, it's his wish. And he has the original 60, that's such like a rich guy jacket to have.
It feels kind of MAGA now. Like I know it wasn't then
I
because it wasn't a thing, but now it's like Red
I
Hattie.
know, I know. I wrote it in what, oh 05? The rough draft, the rough draft.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it does. It feels like very masculine American. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're not supposed to like Neil Nash, the star of Happy Birthday Hunter. No.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because like I don't like him or his friends, I don't
Or his
think.
wife, or his
No.
friends, or the people at his party, or yeah, nobody. No, that he is just 100% dislikable. And I mean, for crying out loud, he has a meat cake, like layers of
It's
meat
so
with like
gross.
hot dogs for candles. I mean, it's just the great. Yeah, and I'm a vegetarian.
Were you vegetarian when he wrote the meat
I
cake?
wasn't.
And then he just leaves like poor Harvey to just get eaten
Right.
by these
You know, like,
owls.
yeah, I love that scene. I loved it
Yeah.
filmed. God, you can like Goblin's like one of the only, and I don't have an answer for these, but it is one of the only books of mine where like I can sit around and think about who could play Camp, who could play
Yeah.
Hunter. They're so cartoon caricaturesque.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it'd be interesting to think like who would play Neil Nash, who would play, yeah.
Where did the idea for the owls come from?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just don't know. I don't know that answer.
I love them so much because they're so like big and like I don't
Oh
know, they
yeah.
seem like they're so just majestic.
Yeah, they're like bird of prey big. They're like, like huge. Yeah. They're like, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, how big do you think they are if you had them in like real life?
Well, when Alice and I were in Ireland, we went to like a falconry place, and there was one owl and one bird that were too heavy to just hold on your arm, like the guy to hold your arm up while it was on your arm. Because it was like I don't even know, like
Oh my
50 feet
gosh.
it was. I mean, it was like the size of like a dog, you know? Like the owl was huge. I mean, its eyes were like, pew, you know.
They're so cool.
So I picture them like that, but black.
In red eyes.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I feel like the story is like when we really get to hear more about the witch of the North Woods.
Yeah.
Um,
And then and Trachtenbreut and
yeah.
yeah, his whole, well, I can't remember, why did he originally come to Goblin? I know that he spots the owls, but why was he there to begin with?
I
Do you
don't
remember?
remember. I don't remember. I don't know if you tell us like why he
Like
was there to begin
Scotland, and I
with.
can't remember what he came for. I can't remember what he came to Goblin for right now, but whatever. This is like ages before the city is like built as it is now, and he brought the owls here.
Yeah, he brought the house
That's
there.
what it was. He brought the owls. Right, 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 right. Okay, okay. He brought the owls here. So
But I
he needed a place to like study them and like a sanctuary and like a place to like whatever.
yeah.
So
But
he came to
I
like
thought he had gone to Goblin and then went back and then
I think
came
that's what it
back.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't remember. I don't remember why.
Because he has to like take them from that guy. And
Yeah.
like,
I love
yeah,
that scene. Yeah.
I love that too. Because she like makes the comment too. She's like, "Oh, if I would have known this was for the church."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
can you talk about the Witch of the North Woods though, and like kind of, I'm asking because selfishly because I want like a backstory book on the witch.
Well, I do think if there's a second book that the Witch of the North Woods play a much larger part.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean that I'm gonna ruin her with like, her childhood or story or something. But yeah, we're gonna get more of her. Like she's now I see her like, oh my God. In fact, like Goblin 2 could be the day the witch came out of the wood.
yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna
yeah,
the day the
yeah.
witch came out or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Because if she feels like kind of like a boogeyman until Hedges, like you're like, Is she a
Yeah.
thing?"
Well, that's one
And
of
then
my favorite
oh,
things. That's one of my all-time favorite things. And it's in the movie Unforgiven, where you hear all these stories about Clint Eastwood throughout. and you're kind of like, is nah, but everything's a tall tale, and at the very end, he's like, I did kill women and children, when he's got like all the guys like lined up
Yeah.
in the, and you're like, oh. Shit, never mind. All those stories were true. And that's one of my favorite sort of things. So like The Witch, I that's one of my all-time favorite movies. There's no question I was thinking that way with like The Witch and everything.
Is Neil Nash's house, like if you're picturing Goblin, where do you think Neil lives? Because
If
he's
I'm remembering, it's like a northwestern sort of,
okay.
right? Like kind of near Evelyn's and incidents around the house,
That's what I was thinking.
but hers is a little more outskirts and his is a little more like all the wealthy people in town live in this neighborhood. Like the
Yeah.
wealthy Goblin and maybe even Sam Haddon because Goblin's like such a bizarre rich area and like it's real tourist friendly in a way just because it's such a curious place. So I can imagine people from Sam Haddon like Sam Haddon's a very industrial slate sort of place. So I can imagine a wealthy person from there wanting to live in Goblin.
Oh, like
So
this, so they just commute
Evelyn,
in.
yeah, but Evelyn's definitely outskirts. So she's further out than it's not like she would be Neil Nash's neighbor or something.
I just picture him with like a lot of land, but also like a suburb, like a suburb that has just like bigger property
Yeah, yeah,
almost.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. Yep.
Okay. I didn't know
Whereas
if that was
Sam
there.
lives in downtown, of course, because he's a freaking hardcore gobliner. Like Camp's not gonna live in a freaking like spacious home at the outside the proper downtown proper. No way. Camp's got to be like in it.
Well, he couldn't anyway. He'd be, I mean, can you imagine if you lived in you were that afraid and you lived in a giant house?
He would lose his mind. He
Like,
did. He does.
poor guy. Um, I do. I mean, I know I mentioned this at the beginning, but this story in particular really does remind me of like what you've said before about like not having a budget when it comes to writing because the party is just so over the top and insane. Was it fun for you to be able to write that scene?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was incredible. And again, once Camp had that plexiglass bed, it felt like anything could happen. Like you just
Yeah.
got a plexiglass bed. But like I can't explain how like liberating. Like I said, again, Goblin was like the best coach I ever had.
But it's so even but it's believable still too,
Oh
though.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
if it's
yeah.
like, oh, I can just do this.
Yeah, like anything goes. So Neil's party is like off the charts. It's like just go, just go, just go.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Presto really quick?
Yeah.
Okay. I so Presto is interesting to me because I really love his promoter, but I don't think I'm supposed to love the promoter part.
Promoter.
So the lady that like comes to him when he's at home and
Maggie.
yeah, Maggie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the reason I liked it though is because I feel like it's a good analogy for like almost like becoming famous. Is like, are you willing to like sell your soul for like fame and success, or are you gonna
Yeah, it's
like
like
kind of
it's
stick to your
like
values about it?
right. He becomes like a workman for death.
Yeah,
Like he's like turns death over. And all the goblin graves, the people are buried standing up, and he's like, oh, this is gonna be a spectacle, this one. Because all the lids pop open and all the bodies just shoot straight up. And then Maggie's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Pretty much having like an orgasm against the cemetery fence while Roman's like, elevating, with real magic all the dead bodies and sending them into whatever, death or whatever. Yeah.
it, I feel like out of all the stories though, this Presto to me is the one that I could see you potentially turning into like a full length novel. Did you feel that way about any of them?
Yeah, I felt that way about camp for
Yeah,
sure. And I feel like I did do something like that with Pest. Um, and I don't know if I thought about that with Presto, but there's the whole magic circuit. So there's all those characters, and there's
yeah,
infighting and how they're like jealous of him and he's not real, like, or this is real. He's dabbling in the black magic or whatever, black arts and da 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 da, and Roman's father and playing chess and da da da. I mean, it really could have been its own for sure. Could have crested. If Watching Evil Dead could be a book, then Presto could have been twice that length. Yeah.
yeah. Do you so I guess because people do accuse Roman of like the like dirty magic. Are we supposed to just accept that everyone kind of believes in magic, like it is a
Well,
known
again,
thing.
yes, that would be another one of those goblin
Yeah.
things where, like, thank God I didn't have anyone breathing over my shoulder saying, I need more rules. I want to know the rules, even if you don't write them in there, oh, stop it. I don't know exactly what the police are. And I think the fact that I don't is good.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so.
you know what I mean? Like a lot of times you'll hear like, you need to know all the rules. I'm like, that maybe in a hard sci-fi, but you don't need that here. You don't need
No.
to have every answer when you're writing a horror novel. I think that some of it should be just like what you as the author are sensing also, like when you're unsettled on the unknown, even for you working on it. So yeah, I think there's just it's understood on the magic on the circuit. It's understood that like this kind of thing could exist, and that this guy, like it is possible, sort of implies that maybe a few of them had been offered something similar in their lives as well.
Yeah, I thought so too. I really like the shop owner in this story, the
Yeah,
magic shop owner.
yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
I want to
I
know more
love
about
him.
him. Like, what's his story?
Yeah, because he's amazing, and I wanted the Westfields like the florist to like know him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Mr. Bench, is that his name? Mr. Bench?
I think
I
so.
think it's Mr. Bench. And I wanted yeah, I want the Westfields story, the florist to know him. Yeah.
I feel like we're just like I mean, I feel like you're gonna have Goblin too by the end of this conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
You have a short chapter in this story that is just, I mean, I think it's like just one sentence. It's like empowers magic is real. I,
Oh yeah.
can you talk about that? Because I feel like there's no other chapter in this book that's like
Yeah,
that.
because it was like it was one of those things where it was like I just wanted like to say like they all thought this because it was. You know what I mean? Like now that you know that, we can continue telling the story, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, because Roman's doing shit on stage, like Mag is throwing an axe at his head that just stops right here and and all that like crazy shit in that. Oh yeah, it opens with that couple.
Yeah.
And
And
they're
she's
like
like, the wife is just so freaked out. Like, she doesn't want to be there.
and then they go to see him backstage and like he just goes like this and like the door shuts.
I love that scene. And I love how you are like, you're like, they can just do that. They can just go back there. It's fine. They're in this like tiny club. There's no security.
Hold on.
Oh, hi. I was just saying I liked that scene too.
Oh, the opening.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I mean, are we allowed to talk like twists right now, or should we not? Like, should I just
Yeah, you can talk about spoilers and twists,
right,
whatever you want.
right? Okay, because I loved the end. Who wants to disappear? Who wants to disappear?
Yeah.
That was my favorite. One of my favorite moments in Goblin is that you're like, no, like, no, these kids are gonna disappear for real. Don't do this. Like Roman was just saying, he sends all the dead bodies up, and then so he's got to put like new dead into the earth or whatever. And again, what does that exactly mean? Who cares? Who cares? It means he's recycling death. It's like he's like part of the machine of it. Like that's what I'm saying. At some point, it became so like rule oriented, and people are looking for way too much reality. This is a
Yeah.
fucking horror novel.
Well, I think it's nice though too because without the rules, like it allows you to like kind of make up your own decision about it while
And
you're reading. Like, how does it
yeah,
impact you? Like, what does it mean to you?
yeah. And it should be like something a bit magical. Like I wouldn't say goblins for kids, but imagine reading that book when you were 13.
Yeah,
It would be like, whoa, this guy like works for death.
it's kind of badass,
I know.
honestly.
Yeah, Presto is the most goth like story of all of them for sure.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, Maggie and Roman in the black Mercedes or BMW? Mercedes. Which is it?
BMW, I thought.
Or is it a Jaguar?
No, I thought it was a BMW. Shit, which one
Yeah, with
is
that
it?
with that old like diesel black
Yeah,
BMW pulling up into town, the two of them at a diner, like just Maggie's undead, sitting with Roman. His name is Roman Emperor. I mean, everything about it's so goth.
I love it so much. The
Yeah,
ending of this is so dark though. Like those kids, like
terrible.
it's fucked
Including
up.
it's like me, and the parents are like, don't be shy, get up there.
They're
And you're
like,
like,
you want to disappear.
want to disappear?
When he says earlier, he's like, yeah, we've sold 80 tickets. Like, that's a lot. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God. I do like I don't know. I really love this one though because it is, I mean, it is goth, but it's fun. But I think that to me, like this and A Mix Up at the Zoo are the darkest stories to me.
Oh, there's no question a mix up at the zoo is the darkest.
It's so
Oh
dark.
my God, it's so dark because Dirk is just, again, he's just like, hey, I'm like, God, I'm working too hard, and man, I just want to have a beer, and I want to meet a lady, and I want to hang out with a lady, and like, da da da. God, I had to get a second job at the slaughterhouse.
Oh, it's so gross too.
Oh man, talk about not vegetarian, right? Like, I mean, you get from Neil's meat cake to and hunting the great owls to Dirk's like mopping up the fucking intestines at the end of the night. Goblin's a horror novel. Wow.
It's
Yeah.
dark. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because like you don't I feel like you sit with it how dark it is because at first you're like, oh, this is like fun and like there's
And
like cool
colorful.
characters and big owls and then you're like, wait, like this is fucked up. Like
Yeah, it's fucked up. Your Dirk's story is like sad. I mean, I don't even oh God, that one was hard to do. And he finally gets the lady and the whole thing is I'm gonna quit this job. I'm gonna, and I'm gonna just stay at the other one. And he's not the brightest guy.
yeah, but you can tell he's so kind because that's what the animal. I mean, to me, that's why the animals like
I know the
him.
animals love him. Yeah, I know. It's just it's the most tragic moment in Goblin.
Well, and
Maybe.
it's sad too because it's like there's all this commentary that you have about like the freedom of death and like like can you even be like a master of your own mind and like can you even really be free until you die? Like it's a heavy story.
Oh yeah, and especially that whole dream sequence, and he's like walking the kids through, and then the walls become bars, and then he realizes
Yeah.
that he's in a cage, and then out beyond the bars, he sees like eight men like behind stones, and he's realizing like that like he's an ape in a human suit. And out there are people in gorilla suits, and all it just like he's like everything's getting mixed up, man. Yeah, he's first of all he's overworked.
This is actually just it's a story about capitalism.
He is overworked. Like if a mix up at the zoo was its own story, it would be like the darkest story in the anthology or something that some
Yeah,
together
it's
like
fucked
that.
up.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too that like you feel worse for him because he does seem like kind of kids like him and then
And
like
he's
they're like
kind of like a knucklehead, and he's like a very
yeah
like cool
and
dude, and
and they're like oh we'll promote you but we're gonna pay you the same like oh this poor guy is just like getting
yeah,
like taken advantage of.
yeah. And he goes back and forth from one job where he completely cares for the animals and the other job where they're like slaughtering animals. And it's like his reality is like it's like bent so far. But he's just yeah, he's almost like the perfect what's the right word? Like ink blot or something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like he's almost like a Rorschach test or something. Because it's like what do you see in Dirk? Do you see the guy that works at the slaughterhouse, no, I see a guy that cares for animals. No, it's a guy that is like part of the just killing of animals. No, it's a guy who cares for animals. It's like, yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't even I think feel like he doesn't even know which
Oh,
he
no, 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 no.
falls into either.
Well, I think that he's definitely coming from a good place.
Yeah, I
Or,
think so
well, yeah,
too.
yeah. He just wants to be like a regular dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just this big lumbering zoo tour guide. Yeah.
I thought that he at the end had killed the tiger. I didn't realize that it was like
Yeah, that's so
the
sad.
gorilla. And then now I'm like, but like, did he kill both? Because
Just no, just
because
Gila.
okay, but like the tiger like doesn't lift its head up or anything. So I was like, well, did he get her
No,
too?
I think the tiger doesn't lift its head up because it's like upset with
It's
him.
okay. Okay.
Whereas
That's
before it's
good.
always sort of acknowledged him.
Yeah.
I
Okay, that
think
makes me
I'd
feel
have
a
to
little bit
reread it, but
better.
and he's got that woman in the zoo, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna sneak you in and
Yeah.
show you when he turns the lights on for the EULA exhibit, and there she is, like slaughtered, and he killed a gorilla. No, it's just rough,
And
dude. It's
like
fucking
it's like a
rough.
personal kill too. Like he like slits her
Yeah,
throat, right?
yeah, yeah, like you would do at the slaughterhouse or something. Yeah, it's rough, dude. Yeah, it's rough. That's like the darkest thing I've ever read. I almost don't even want to talk about. I feel like so bad for Dirk right now, man.
Yeah,
And
I
people,
had to
and people are like, "I love Goblin." It's like, oh boy, these last two stories are dark.
when I finished that one, I had to put it down for a bit. I was like, I have to take
Yeah,
like a little break. Yeah.
And I'm like I am an animal lover.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And yeah, that one is just fucking dark, dude.
Do you think that's like one of the darkest things you've written?
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
if not the most. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A mix about the zoo is just like, ugh, you know.
Yeah.
A good friend told me, the guy who runs the library in Connecticut, that when he was reading that, he was worried that Dirk was some sort of like predator because he was like bringing those in, that he was dreaming of guiding the kids down the hallway and everything. I'm like, oh no, no,
Yeah.
no. We're not going down that road. Like, I'm like, I would never, I don't think I would ever go down. No, I know I wouldn't ever go down that road. Like, but he was worried because the story was just so dark by nature that it was leading somewhere like that. And I'm like, no, 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 no.
Well,
Well,
you know what I think makes worse too about the animals is that like you have in a man in slices where like you think the dog is gonna get run over and then you're like, oh, well, he didn't get him. But then it's
yeah.
like, oh, just wait, there's more there's more animal death to come.
Josh wouldn't kill the dog. Phew, thank God.
Surprise, surprise. Well, you don't kill the dog, you just, there's other animal casualties.
The female gorilla who's like the prize of the Goblin Zoo. This is a rough night in Goblin, man. That's another thing. Goblin 2, it's got to be a hell of a night in Goblin. Like shit's got to go down. The hedges were solved. Eula's killed. A great owl is bagged.
Do
Fucking
you
Camp dies. Like all the history of Goblin dies with him.
do you pick up like just as soon as it's like the next morning?
No, no, no,
No,
no.
you have some time
It's a
pass.
whole different night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whole different night. Whole different rainy night. That's a good title. The night the witch got out, or something like that. When the witch got out. I don't know what it is, but when the witch got out of the house or something, I don't know, but out of the woods. The witch in the woods, when the witch got out. I don't
I
know.
like to imagine her just like lurking in people's windows. Like
Oh,
she gets out
yeah,
of the
yeah.
woods. She's just like creeping around
No,
town.
I think that she should be like in each story a little bit, maybe. Just and then
Yeah.
at the end it's like, "Ah," you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I I do feel bad for Wayne and Hedges though,
Oh,
because he's like
oh,
he's like, "Oh, it's
oh.
my wife." Just
So
kidding.
this was amazing for me because talk about again, a coach. I sludged through the love story parts of the hedges. I was like, again, I was running out of gas. And I was just like, oh God, they meet at the grocery store and they're like, oh my God, I don't care about the lovers. I want to get back to the girl in the maze, you know? I want to get back to Margot and I want to get back to the police. And then I'd be like, no, 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 we got to tell this love story. And it was like, oh, I was like, just like, oh my God, okay, fine. And then you see, and then, oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Oh, no, okay, you know. And when I went to rewrite it, that shit was by far the best part of the book about of the hedges to me. And I
It's
was
my
like,
favorite part.
yep, me too. And I was like, oh shit. You don't have to be, this is when I was starting to realize you don't have to be inspired to do your best work. Those were
Yeah.
really the days where I was like, fuck, I gotta tell that shit. I gotta tell the love story and then get back to the hedges, you know? And reading it back when I was rewriting, the hedges were all super rushed and I had to like work on all that. But that shit was great. And I was like, oh shit, this relationship stuff is good. So
Yeah.
major lesson for me, the hedges.
Well, and I mean, that does feel like a love story to me, like more than anything.
Oh yeah.
Especially like, I mean, their vows are like very sweet and moving, but like when he's like trying to figure out what am I going to take with me? I have to get on the run, and he's like, I can't leave her things behind. Like, there's just something so sad about that that he's like,
Um,
I just have to take the time to get all
you
this.
know, I had I wrote Bird Box and at least a mix about the zoo. I wrote, so I think I wrote the bulk of Goblin on the Road, but a mix about the zoo I wrote in the same house I wrote Bird Box. And so I was at the time I would give the woman who owned the house, I was running the third floor, I would give her, so she read Wendy, she read Goblin, she read the Wolverine line, she read Bird Box, she read Bring Me the Map. She read Decorum of the Deathbed, which is the title of a different novel originally. She read Inspection, and I moved out after Inspection. And with Goblin, she was like, I don't think he had to die. Like that was seemed like unnecessarily cruel to me that that man dies at the end. And in my head, I was like, he died when she died.
Yeah, he was dead. Yeah.
He died when she died, and like it even made sense that Margot solved the hedges because it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What were in
There's
the
some
hedges? what was it? The key to the city?
The key to the city.
Yeah, yeah, I love
That
that.
he finds like
Uh,
I'm presumably like around the time that Richard and Charles are like sneaking into the Milky Way because they see it that night
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. It's like by the adult movie theater, he finds the fucking that scene's crazy when they're behind the screen and everything.
I love that scene. And I love the idea too that like these two kids just could have like taken this key, but they didn't know what it was. They just like left it
Uh,
behind.
yeah, yeah, the key to the city. So I think, and I don't know, does it ever say what the key is
What do you mean?
in the book? I can't remember. Does it ever say like what it does, what it opens?
No, it's just like
Okay.
yeah.
So it's definitely going to open the witches wherever she lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely going to
No,
open.
I think the only thing you say is that like without it being like in its rightful home, it like the ghosts and stuff are like more active and like
Yeah,
things
yeah,
are just
yeah,
bad.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this needs to be in its right place. Well, unfortunately, its right place, I think, is with her.
Well, it's in the woods now though, right? They
Right,
drop
that's what I'm
it.
saying. Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so she
Like
has
he
it
like
back.
drops it and yeah, yeah.
Do you think it makes her more powerful now that she has it back?
Well, maybe it's not her house, but it's yeah, because now she can open something. I don't know. Yeah, Goblin 2 is gonna be like a crazy.
Um, I see so much of you and Allison and Wayne and his wife.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if that's weird, but like it just like their care for each other reminds me so much of like you and Allison, like how
Oh,
much you
that
cared
no,
about
that's
each
amazing.
other.
I met Allison years after.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, but no, well, no, that's not true though, because I rewrote it after I already met her. Right? Yes, I must have, right. 'Cause, yeah, yeah, it gets published.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I rewrote it. I'm sure that I had an eye. Does she even look like Allison?
I can't
She
remember.
probably does. I'll look it up. I'll look it up. I can't remember right now either. But so the original draft, I guess I'll just say this. The original draft, the wife was at the end of the hedges.
Okay.
Then I was like, no, that's just so obvious. And so then I think there's a moment that where Margot's
Yeah.
you thought it was gonna be the wife. And the cops are like, tell us the story, whatever. And she thought it was gonna be the wife. It's not the wife, Little Margot in the police station, all
I
the
love her so
cops
much.
around her, like, and like that was my way of being like, like I thought it was gonna be the wife too. I actually wrote that and then I got rid of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love Marco because she's just so sassy. Like she's just like she's not really afraid until her mom like makes her realize like maybe I should be afraid of this, like what's
And
happening.
that's like the camp thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like the reality of actually being afraid. And I try to I carried that over into Bird Box, 100% carry that over into Daphne and Incidents Around the House, which is like I'm not interested in like realism. Obviously, Goblin and is so colorful, whatever, elastic. But when it comes to like being scared, like if you really think about some of the things you see in movies and this and that, if you saw that, like it would be like reality shattering.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for realism, but when it comes to the scare, we don't have to ramp it up. We don't have to escalate this. Like just seeing this one thing would change everything. And so incidents around the house, her just seeing that thing sitting on the bed is enough for like Ursula to lose her mind. Like
Yeah.
everything Ursula believed before is different now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if
I
mommy, then why not anything?
well, that's kind of like I mean, what I feel like what camp is trying to tell people too is like
Right,
how are
exactly.
you can't go on after seeing this if you
Right,
saw
how
what
come
you
you can just
saw.
go on regularly? You're just walking around town with ghost stories?
Yeah, like
Right,
what?
right, like yeah, right, right. And that's what I mean by that person that if they actually believed in hell or knew of hell, it's the same thing. You've heard that theory before that kind of conversation before
Yeah.
too, where it's like you wouldn't for 1 minute be like, "Oh, you're sinning." You would be like, "Dude, you
Yeah.
have to stop doing that because like this is you're gonna be here forever." Like, you know what I mean? And that's what Camp is saying about this. Yeah.
Well, I think that goes along too with like not the loyalty part, but like the opposite side, which is like the obsession part of like, I
Yeah.
need you to believe this because without like you believing it, you're putting yourself at risk. And like, what does that mean even for me? Like, I believe in it. I'm not going to let you put me at risk because you don't believe in it.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. And God, what a period, right? So Goblin, the Wolverine line, well, then a mix up at the zoo, but then Bird Box. and then bring me the map, which is one that I got to get out in some form or another for sure. But yeah, that was a good period. Unbury Carroll comes soon after. Inspections around there, but now we're starting to talk years. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not like the next month, right? Inspections written in oh the rough draft, and it's very different than what it ends up being in like oh 07, oh 08 or something. So yeah, Bird Box comes out, and then I think three of the books from before it have come out now. Inspection, Unbury Carroll, and Goblin.
that's not
I
that many.
mean, before it getting published is what I
Yeah,
meant.
yeah.
Yeah.
So everything other than those were those things that you wrote like as part of your book deals?
No, because there were also, as you know, like uh no, they've all just been different. Like I wrote a collection of novellas. Black Mad Wheel was called Nurse Ellen. And HarperCollins loved the idea for that. And would you put that, do you want to try to expand that into a novel? I was like, okay. And see what I mean? So I guess
Yeah.
that was the book deal, but that novella was already written by the
Yeah,
time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't like written for that, but then it ended up being that or something.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love Black Madville.
Hi, thank you. That one, wow, that one. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I think Hedges, like we were talking about, like the kind of this theme of death. I feel like that kind of solidifies it too, of like, what are we doing if you're not doing it to death? Like, if you're not just giving it your all, like, what is the point? Um, I guess without Wayne there to kind of take care of these giant topiaries, like, is
Oh
Goblin just
yeah.
kind of falling into like disarray without him? Like, do you think they
Yeah.
hire someone new?
Someone has to in Goblin 2, someone has to take care of that shit. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
But it makes you make it seem like he's the only one that can really do it
I
the way
guess
he's been doing
well,
it.
Goblin's not Goblin if you cut all that shit down. So that would be
No.
travesty, right? So I'm not sure. I could all be just like bizarrely overgrown, but that doesn't seem good either. I don't know.
No, can you imagine how fucking scary that would be? Like the Northwoods just start taking over because no one's taking care of the city.
Yeah, like and like the topiaries, like the faces are distorted, like
No.
growing in weird
There's
ways.
like shit living in it because no one's like
Oh, that's
trimming it.
fun. And the witch has the key to the city. Oh boy. Goblin too. I mean, it's
Goblin
really
too.
like keyed up, you know? It's like, that's right.
Um, I like the end. You kind of talk about like people making their own stories and then it adds up, or mistaking their own stories is adding up to one big story. It feels like a nice nod to like how this novellas are interconnected.
Yeah.
Did you, I mean, I guess it sounds like you always had it in mind that they would all kind of overlap with each other and lead
Yeah,
into
for
one.
sure.
Yeah.
Once yeah, once I kind of had that list of these 10 potential stories, and then, like I said, got the name when she called me a goblin. And then I started to see it all as like, yeah, this is all taking place in one night and da da da. I gotta write a second goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be a second
I mean, I
edition.
don't know when you're going to write it because you
I
have so
don't know.
much,
I
but
don't either, but I will though. I will. I will.
I feel like the Goblin's like a nice examination of like I don't want to say quiet horror, but because it's scary, but it's not like you're not overly gory, you're not overly gruesome, but there's something really unnerving about this book. Like I was reading a lot of it at night and I'm like turning my flashlight on my phone on to like look at like corners and stuff. And I'm like I
Oh,
just feel like the whole
cool.
time I'm like being followed. And
Oh, that's
I guess
good.
like that's just like a good like testament to you of like horror doesn't have to be overly gruesome to be
You're
effective.
making me want to like reread it just with the
It's
intent.
so
But I
good.
also want to do a sequel to On Barry Carroll or a second on Barry Carroll. I would love another book on the trail. And I don't know, maybe I will do this stuff. I'm looking at all the books right now. But Pest might be coming out sooner than later if that movie stuff happens. And oh God, I cannot wait to get started on this book. And I was thinking about maybe even directing Catherine Clover. That one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe directing either that or on This the Day of the Pig.
I
That would
think you would be great at on this day.
Yeah, if Allison did all the animatronics for Pearl,
Yeah.
yeah, that could be a lot of fun, man. We have friends that are up here, um, that have a farm, and I mean, it literally is. It's that setting laid out. the barn, the farmhouse, the pen, and with pigs and everything. Yeah.
You kind of, I mean, in all your spare time.
Yeah, I know. I
But
know.
I don't have anything else for Goblin. Do you have anything you want to talk about that we didn't cover?
Um, let me just think for 1 second because I definitely wanted to talk about, yeah, I know how the novellas in a row give you that and how it led to Bird Box. And I guess just like, yeah, for like just, I want to just reiterate how liberating this one was. It was like meeting the right person at the right time in your life or something. It was like, I had written the one book, and if that isn't a breakthrough in your life, nothing is, right? But then this was different. This one was like, no, no, you could do this again. And not only that, you can get better at this, and anything goes. And look how different all these are. And as you know, the first couple horror movies I saw were anthology horror movies, and this was sort of like that. They were like a nod to that sort of like to that sort of setup framework. And then yeah, Goblin, I just whatever. It was just it means a lot to me.
A great show.
Oh my God. Yeah. We were talking about like filming it somewhere like in like Germany or something, but saying it's here, saying it's Michigan, just
Yeah.
to give it like where like what kind of trees are those or what kind of building those buildings are in Michigan just to give it like that otherworldly vibe, even though it's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you call this Michigan, but it doesn't look like exactly like I guess it could be Michigan, but it doesn't look like it or something.
Yeah, in my head, I mean, I'm glad that you said the thing about the Pacific Northwest because in my head, that's like kind of what I'm picturing like when I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go back to Goblins if you, I know
Yeah.
you're.
I told you before, I always picture a return to Goblin with Walter Camp like gripping like a palm tree and his hair blowing. A return to Goblin.
What if they're like not? Some of these people aren't actually dead. They're just, I don't know.
Well, I will say someone's got to fill Walter's shoes because he is like Goblin personified, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. It's got to be a hell of an idea for another like solo um obsessive story like that.
I feel so bad for him.
And Dirk and Wayne and kind of Richard, but kind of not.
Wait, I feel bad for Richard.
It's different though. It's not the same. There's like a soul despair to like uh Dirk and Camp.
Do you think that like hey, Charles gets away with it with the ear because there's so much shit going on this night?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's off into the night. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do
I don't
too.
know if the police would care. I don't know that he really knows one of the laws that they care about.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, yeah.
I do like that they just like kidnap Margot. They're just like, we're taking you.
Yeah.
Like, her poor mom's like, shit,
Like
where
there's
is
yeah,
she?
there's no formalities, there's no paperwork, man. Yeah, you're coming with us, kid. Yeah.
What time frame is this? Like, is Goblin? Like, do you have a year in mind?
Just
Because
now, I guess.
because it doesn't feel present day to me. I feel like I'm in like the 50s.
I don't know. It's like yeah, it's like out of joint. It's out of time. I don't know. There's a word
I
for it.
like it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I don't. There's not gonna be a fucking cell phone in Goblin. I know that. So I don't know. I don't
No.
know.
But
It
I
might
had a
be.
feeling like
No.
it feels almost feels like if you had a cell phone, it wouldn't work in Goblin. Like you would just never
Right.
have signal,
Yeah. No
you
shit. Yeah.
know?
Yeah. The weather alone. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
All right.
thank
I guess
you.
I should go celebrate Vala's birthday.
Tell her happy birthday.
I will. I want to read this now again, like very badly. I want to read this again now.
You should.
Yeah. I'm surrounded by like five different editions of it. One, two, three, four.